I ain't got nothing. Hey.
Stop running! 4-5 Mike's running in the back.
Make clips for me, man. Appreciate that.
What you just witnessed was an operation from Jacksonville's undercover narcotics unit raiding the house of a suspected drug dealer.
Oh, shit.
You also just saw a snippet of their overdose team investigating a drug-induced death to see if there's a drug dealer that they need to find and charge with a homicide. Currently, Jacksonville law enforcement is receiving nationwide attention for things like cutting their county's homicide rate in half over a 1-year period and employing state-of-the-art crime-fighting technology. For a few days, me and the boys embedded with Jacksonville Sheriff's Office to see their methods in action. This video is part 1 of a 3-part series we are releasing, with part 1 focusing on how Jacksonville fights drug-related crime, and for part 2 we will be on a night patrol with cops and K-9 units, and for part 3 we will be looking into how their SWAT team and gang task force tackles murders and gang violence. This, folks, is unprecedented access that we are proud to bring to you. Let's get to it.
They already look like they around the trenches instantly. Little small houses, they're already in the hood, straight up.
Folks, we are pulling up on an undercover drug raid.
Anytime they got them big old baggy jeans on with them highlights on them, you know them niggas ain't up to no good.
There's a drug task force here in Jacksonville that is really trying to crack down on fentanyl and the problems that drugs bring into a community. This is a blood pumping type of experience. This is something where you breach a door and someone resists. There could be shots fired. You might have to bring in SWAT. You might have to, it's a high pressure job. Let's go in and check this out and see what the next step is. We were walking into an office where undercover officers worked and where their top secret operations were planned. So we were instructed to keep the cameras low until it was time to move out on this raid.
Keep the cameras low.
So I'm Lieutenant Manna with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office Narcotics Unit. I'm over narcotics and vice.
And what's the operation today? What are we looking for?
Today we have a search warrant for a drug house. We conducted several buys from the property, and we know they're selling drugs from inside the house. And we are going to
run that shit down.
It's on the west side of town.
He said we about to run this motherfucking down to the ground.
We conducted several.
That's why they had to bleep it. He said we about to burn this shit down to the ground.
We bought crack cocaine from there.
How many drug raids do you think you've been on in your day?
2-3 a week.
Do we know if the guy living here has many firearms?
We haven't seen any, because if we did, it would qualify for SWAT. So
they kind of cleaning up the streets. 2 or 3 a week is crazy. I thought he was about to say 2 or 3 a week, 2 or 3 drug raids a week. That's a lot of drug raids. So if you got every day for 5 days, you get 2. That's 10. That's 10 drug raids you gonna knock down, bro. Like they cleaning the streets slowly but surely. It's crazy, but there's so many drug dealers and so much work in the streets. They can never clean it up completely, of course.
The guys,
they can try.
The job they do is very dangerous, especially the first person inside the property, because you just don't know what's behind the closed doors.
If you need to throw one of us in as human bait to make the operation go through, just we'll draw straws as a crew.
All right, let's go.
What does it mean to you to be taking drugs off the street?
It means a lot. We try to keep our community safe, and obviously this is a vicious circle with supply versus demand. But
bro don't look like he played no games. He look like the damn Mercury nigga off of Terminator. That nigga ain't gonna play no games. Look at them glasses on. He got them Oakleys on. Anytime motherfuckers got them Oakleys on, you know they mean business.
And take drugs off the street.
Do you think you'll ever completely wipe drugs off the street?
Hell no.
I think you can
just say
put a
that?
to it.
You'll never completely wipe drugs off the street.
Wipe it off completely, because there are some, for instance, marijuana is legal in certain states. It's a very tough challenge. Again, it's a vicious circle. It's supply versus demand.
That's a fact. Look, even the drug lords will tell you.
Where's that guy going right there?
Versus
demand. Yep, he's going to the door. All right.
Okay, yep, we're going to take him too.
It's right here.
Yep, it's that one. Should be second block on the right.
That nigga mean business. He didn't even look.
Door is,
he just
looks
said second block on the right.
Hey, watch this car, watch this car.
Uh-oh. Got him. tried to break. Did he jump? Did he go in the door? He ran it out?
There's somebody running in the back door.
Look how calm he is, bro. Bro really do this shit. Look how they got somebody running in the back door. Bro calm as shit. He ain't panic on nothing.
Gray jacket, black pants, another one. They're running, they ran out of the apartment complex.
Bro didn't do no panicking. I'm still on that.
I got nothing.
Bro said, I ain't got nothing.
I got one. The other one.
That's me. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. Hey.
Stop running! 4 Mike sweating in the back.
That's why you gotta be trained for this shit, bro. Because niggas be running for their life. And when you scared, you know you 3 times faster when you scared. So these police, they gotta be like super fast and on point because they're not the scared ones. They're just trying to get who they trying to get. But who they trying to get is scared of shit. So they gonna run 3 times faster, way more strategic and way more longer with way more energy because they're scared. This nigga got caught. I don't said all that. You made me look bad. I don't said all that and your ass, he get through the woods and you on the floor. Took the police about 5 minutes to get through the woods. What is you doing?
Under your handcuffs? Right, loose. I can fit a finger in between there, buddy. That's kind of what we got to do.
Hi, y'all ready? So in this case, we got a bunch of crack cocaine. We have a lot of powder cocaine. We got some beakers, a bunch of drug paraphernalia, scales. So obviously we got to say that was successful.
Is crack cocaine as common as it was in
They
early
found the
2000s?
crack
It still is,
cocaine.
I would say, crack cocaine, yeah.
How would you classify this bust? Small, medium, large?
Probably a medium scale to small, small to medium.
How many people in custody?
So far, 3. And obviously we have a baby now, so we're trying to get hold of the mother. Apparently she's at work, so she'll be coming back.
Oh, they got a baby now?
You see a baby inside one of those houses.
You won't be the first. A lot of times, so we we hold the baby, we assist, and then what we do is trying to reunite the baby with
Reunite.
And apparently that's the father, who's the mother, is at work. Since the father is going to be arrested, then the mother will respond to take control of her child.
Do they feel like, I'm glad that this is happening, that they got busted?
Absolutely, absolutely. We
Everybody
get
got them
feedback
Bose
all the time.
lavaliers
They don't
now.
like
Them
these
those
guys.
taking
They
over.
don't want them here in their neighborhoods.
Because they make them dangerous?
Yeah, they don't want drugs in their neighborhoods.
In the last year, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office has fielded over 5,000 calls for service for drug-related
That's
incidents.
crazy.
And in a 2024 survey
5,000?
of Jacksonville residents, next to gun violence, illegal drug usage was the top issue residents wanted the Sheriff's Office to focus their resources on.
A lot of times they are afraid, and the ones they step
5,000?
up, they give us complaints and information. We work every complaint that we get.
I mean, to live in a place where dangerous guys with guns are in and out all the time, and junkies are coming, and you have kids around here.
And this is just the preliminary search. Obviously, they go into details to search the property. And typically on the secondary search, they find additional drug paraphernalia and additional
My man,
drugs.
camera crispy, I ain't gonna hold you.
Our overdose deaths are down significantly year over year here.
This is Vic Michelucci. Previously, he was a Jacksonville investigative journalist who won Crime Reporter of the Year. He left his 14-year career to run communications and media for the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, and he is the one that opened up the doors for us to be here today.
Crime reporter of the
People are
year is
dying.
crazy.
And this is just one part of that initiative,
Yeah,
or
this
that
is a
push.
part of that.
Yeah.
But as you saw with that situation, not only did they find drugs, they found at least one gun. And a lot of times when you see drug sales, you see firearms, and that leads to violence.
The murder that comes with the marijuana trade. I'm gonna tell you, I've worked murders where a pound of marijuana was stolen, and people
I
get
seen
killed.
bro before.
It may not seem like a big deal to the
They keep the
populace,
lavaliers on all
to
of 'em.
people that are advocates for marijuana, but that's a big deal. One life, I always say, to everybody is too many.
Look, there was that kid in there. I mean, that kid was, what, maybe 1?
Yeah.
I don't think there's any excuse for that.
Yeah,
Whether you're dealing drugs, doing drugs, around people that are doing drugs, to expose that child there. And we've had multiple issues of accidental overdoses with kids.
Yeah, I bet.
And we've put that out, and thankfully, the most recent instances, our officers were able to save those kids. But imagine having to give Narcan
Man, that's a
to a
baby,
1-year-old.
baby. They got the
We
baby
just got
outside
to
with
watch
no
a
clothes
successful
on.
raid take down an armed crack dealer.
What?
But Jacksonville's war on drugs has a
Don't nobody out there got sense to say, get the baby some clothes or something?
another side to it, the overdose task force. Whether we'd meet them this trip
Got the baby
depended
out there,
on one
butt
thing,
ass
an
naked.
overdose happening while we were
Baby
in
gonna
town.
grow
Early
up and
Saturday
be like,
afternoon,
yeah, I
that
got me
call
on
came.
camera ass naked.
So we've been on standby the 4 days we've been in Jacksonville for when an overdose happens, we're gonna get the call. Unfortunately, it's 1:20 on a Saturday, and we're responding to the scene of an overdose. This is hard to walk into. I mean, you're walking into a family's worst nightmare with cameras, and we want to be respectful of what they're experiencing, but also convey something that
But the neighbors
happens
like, what the
every
fuck
day
is
around
going on?
America in a real way. So we'll see you on the scene.
Hey, in a real way. Bruh said in a real way.
Right now, the victim is still present, so we're gonna allow you.
It'd be
guys
funny
to
because
come in. Just kinda-
it be real life drug dealer, like drug lords living right beside you, and the neighbor don't even be knowing till they get back and be like, "Oh my gosh, he was such a nice person. He spoke every day." Yeah, because he was trying to stay on your good side, so he won't get snitched on, nigga. But the neighbors don't even be knowing. They got the plug right beside them. They'll kill.
keep a distance. We'll be collecting a bunch of things. I think that would be very good, and like as far as the recording and stuff.
Who are you and what do you do? What's your role?
So I am Sergeant Kay Cruz. I am with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
Sergeant
I'm a part
Kay
of
Cruz.
the Narcotics Overdose Death Investigations Unit.
We are allowed to cross the threshold and film inside the valley?
Yeah. Just
Could we
don't.
have consent from the
Yes.
family?
Yeah, and then that's also why I was speaking to the next of kin, because I didn't want her to be like, why is media here? So I was explaining to her the reasoning for you guys being here and like helping, produce information to give out to, the public to hopefully prevent future overdoses for overdose awareness.
As you enter a
Okay.
scene, what are you looking
She
for?
trying
What
to
are you
sound
doing?
all
So the
smart.
very beginning of our investigation
deep.
is the patrol response. Anytime patrol responds to a undetermined death,
They be back to back
depending
with it.
on the evidence on scene, determines what unit will come out to conduct the death investigation. The initial investigation, we're unable to determine what the actual cause of death is. When we respond to the scene, there's kind of two different investigations going on. You have your medical examiner's office investigation, and you also have your Jacksonville Sheriff's Office investigation. The medical
Black girl
examiner's
out
office
there on the phone and
will
shit.
do
She's
all
probably
the
talking to her
medical
dude.
related
Where
stuff.
you at?
So they're doing the toxicology, and they're
She
actually
supposed to be
going
working
to
and shit.
determine the actual cause of death. We are conducting the sheriff's
What it
office
do, bro?
investigation. So with any individual, or if an individual
Man, zone the
provides a
building.
controlled substance to an individual that is a substantial factor in their death, they can be held liable.
And we know that, we're trying to figure
Cause
that
We're
out.
like,
trying
what
to
the
figure
fuck
that out.
do all that
We're doing
mean?
very initial stages of the investigation.
know what
we're
the fuck she
processing the
talking
scene with
about.
the crime scene unit.
Flick.
And also we're working with the medical examiner's office. We're collecting any evidence that may assist our investigation.
What has you wearing a mask to the scene?
We wear those to protect our identities because a lot of us work in an undercover capacity, so that's why we
They
wear
got a face
masks, 'cause
mask
we're out
and they
in the
blurred his
public.
face out.
So we
They
just
ain't
try to
playing no
conceal our
games.
identities from members of the public.
He
'cause
must
you
be
never
the
know
rat
if
of all rats.
someone here at the scene provided drugs to the victim, or if any of these people could potentially
Look
be a
at my
suspect.
man in the purple though. And the cool ass Bonnie. Kill the fat ass man up. Watch his grape juice bottle head ass boy.
Drug dealer for a case that we encounter later.
Is it possible that You might find the dealer. You might do an undercover buy from the same dealer that sold
that nigga
here.
coach for
Because that way you're
the
familiar with the case.
Sacramento Kings like shit.
Have you ever been in a sketchy situation?
A lot of them.
Explain one of them.
I've been locked in hotel rooms with drug dealers before.
Yeah, that
sometimes
nigga
they'll do
coach
that
for the
to make sure, like,
Sacramento
no one's coming
Kings.
in behind you, so you're in there with them trying to buy drugs, and they'll lock the doors behind you. You know, they have guns
Yeah, I
on
know,
them.
bro. They gonna get,
they have drugs there. There was a case in Miami recently where they made an
See, all this information he giving right now, that's why he covering his face. Cause like he giving big information. He can get his ass bagged up.
undercover actually smoked fentanyl just to say that he wasn't an undercover.
Did he pass away?
No, he did not.
What she's referring to is an insane story that just happened a couple weeks ago. A Miami fentanyl dealer got suspicious of an undercover agent and gave the guy two options. You either smoke this fentanyl and die, or I'm going to kill you anyways. Terrified,
Damn.
the agent had no choice but to hit the
That
Chinese
fentanyl getting
import
wicked,
in front
y'all.
of
We
the
gotta
dealer.
stay away from
Somehow
that
he
shit.
survived, and SWAT raided these guys soon
That
after. And it
fentanyl
just
getting
goes
crazy
to
out here,
highlight
y'all.
the incredible danger of this undercover
Stay alert.
profession.
I've had drug dealers before try to get me to smoke drugs, and it's just, you know, it can be pretty dangerous and sketchy. Pretty much this entire career is pretty dangerous.
What got you into it?
When I was little, I really liked the show Cops. Okay, and I'm not from Jacksonville, but when I was little, I used to watch
Cops,
the
too.
episodes, and I remember as a kid seeing the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office episodes and being like, that
He wanted to
area
be
in
one. He wanted
particular,
to
I
be
don't know,
one
I
when he
stuck with
grew
me,
up.
and I was like, that looks like a pretty crazy place to live or work or whatever.
We talked
Look at him,
to,
see?
prior to making entry, we're talking
used to watch Cops and like,
Patrol
I wanna be a
to
cop.
provide us with their information that they collected upon their initial response. We're talking to any next of kins that are on scene, and we're also talking to any...
She looked like she used to talk too much shit in high school. Used to get her ass beat all the time. So she said, I'm going to be a police officer and find everybody that used to beat my ass. But she was the one that was talking all the shit, though. That's what she looked like.
complainants are witnesses.
Yeah,
We're
he
just trying to
informant. Cuz
gather
definitely informant,
what
'cause her face
happened
not blocked
before
out.
police were called to the scene. For this particular structure, the
She got the same
room
badge she got
where the
on.
victim was located is from the back.
Her big head ass don't
You
care.
guys can follow me, and we'll go inside.
Oh, hi, I'm Eric
Her big head
Wareheim. I
ass
run
do
the
not care.
world-famous Top Food blog. I have a New York Times best-selling cookbook.
I wouldn't even want to go in them houses, bro. Them joints tainted.
What are the primary things we're looking for? Where are your eyes going right now?
So eyes are going in the immediate area where the victim was located, but also like common areas of the house, living room, bathroom. We're checking for any paraphernalia, narcotics related, and any additional narcotics or any paraphernalia to even include like little baggies that could have been packaging for narcotics.
They said paraphernalia 5
I've been
times.
working narcotics related investigations for a little over 7 years now. I've been working narcotics overdose death investigations for approximately 3.5, 4 years.
What got you into the overdose unit?
I enjoyed working narcotics investigations.
'Cause she used
I
to do
noticed
it.
that before the creation of this unit, homicide
snort them
was
lines her damn
responding to these types of investigations. And prior, this was kind of before it became, we fell under the
I
Florida
ain't
State
judging, I'm
statute
just
of
saying.
murder. Once we
definitely
started
used to
falling
do
under
some
that Florida State
drugs.
statute, we were able to dig deeper into different types of
Eyes tell it all, y'all.
investigations.
The eyes
Florida
tell it all.
lawmakers are not alone in expressing the sentiment that a drug dealer should be subjected to harsh penalties, particularly if they can be tied to an overdose death. In fact, just recently, Trump made headlines again by stating his long-term position that drug dealers should receive the death penalty.
He did. He did.
death penalty for drug dealers, you'll never get rid of the drug problem. Put that through your head.
He did.
As someone
he
who
did.
knows-
He did. Trump definitely said drug dealers should get the death penalty, bro. That's crazy. That will make drug dealers be like, because you're going to get caught eventually. As a drug dealer, you know that come with the game. Unless you just a blessed man, like a really blessed man. Because, like, listen, if you selling drugs for 10 years, you're going to at least get caught one time. I'm just saying. I know I sold drugs back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And I got caught a couple times. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't no hot nigga or none of that. I was just in the wrong place, wrong time. Sometimes you be slipping up. But yeah, death penalty to get caught, yeah, I probably will find something else to do with my career. No funny.
the drug dealing black market much better than Trump, I think the
Ain't
numbers
me
he's
fucking
throwing out
around.
are extreme exaggerations that have no root or basis in fact.
A drug dealer will kill 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 people during the course of his or her life.
It really depends on what someone's selling. If someone has sold fentanyl, obviously
really.
they have a much higher chance of causing an overdose
Kingpin
death.
drug
But for
dealer
some guy
will probably.
trapping weed, it is actually impossible that anyone has died as a result of his drug. It says on the DEA's own website that no one has overdosed from marijuana, and yet it's still a Schedule I drug. However, I do agree that a drug dealer needs to be held liable.
Nah, for real though. Like, leave the weed out of the drugs, man. I'm just saying. I don't do it anymore. I'm a changed man. I'm a streamer now. I'm a film videographer. I don't sell no drugs. I am not a gangster. That's why I got on the green light. Because I ain't no blood or no crip. Nah, no funny though. Yeah, this shit crazy though. Death penalty for no drug dealers, bro.
If what he sells kills someone, the question is, to what extent? What do you guys think in the comments? Should a drug dealer be given a death sentence if they cause an overdose death?
I found interest in not only giving closure to.
I don't think the drug dealer should get a death penalty if the user overdoses. You know why? Because that was the user's choice to overdose. You know what I'm saying? The drug dealer just gave him the product. But the drug dealer, I'm sure, didn't say, hey, take all that shit at one time. You know what I'm saying? Just take it all at one time so you can overdose. No. The user has to know to take a little bit, take a little bit, take a little bit. If you don't have no control or no discipline, you're going to overdose. So that's not the drug dealer's fault. I don't think drug dealers should get penalized. At least a life sentence, taking his whole life away, like not here no more. A little bit extra, bro, for something that user chose to do. You know what I'm saying? Even though you did give him the drugs, if this person didn't give that person the drugs, that person would have found somebody else to give him the drugs. You know what I'm saying? They would have found somebody else to give him the drugs. So I don't think the drug dealers should get death penalty. That's crazy to me.
The family of the victims, but putting all the pieces together to try and determine who actually sold illegal drugs.
Yeah, I know you'll
calls like
like
this a week
overdose
do you
though
typically respond
if it's
to?
laced.
The
That's why you gotta be
overdoses,
careful.
they come in waves. There are times that we can get 10 in a week. There are times that we can get
I'm
0.
just saying
There's
the death
actually-
penalty
there's no
is just
way
a
to
little
determine
extra,
how many
bro.
call-outs a week that we're
10
going to get.
years,
Crime scene units
20
here,
years,
the
okay.
narcotics overdose detectives
The
are
death
here.
penalty? Come on,
They
bro.
are taking photographs. They're looking
crazy.
around, pointing out or trying to locate any evidence that may be narcotics related. They are waiting for the medical examiner's office to arrive.
That
Once
bump
the
on her
medical examiner's
motherfucking lip
office
is
arrive,
irritating the
that's
shit
kind
out
of
of me.
where we're now dividing into like 2 investigations,
I
but
know
we
she
work
was
very
mad
close
as shit.
together. Like
She's
I said,
like,
it's,
damn, I'm gonna
I
be
think
on
the more
camera?
information we get out there to the public,
bump
make
lip
aware
bad.
that it's not only fentanyl. Yes, fentanyl, that's what we're hearing in the news. It's a dangerous, deadly drug, but any illegal substance can cause a death.
Well, thank you for what you do.
Yeah, thank you.
You hear that?
Some
Any
Americans would say,
illegal
hey,
substance can
alcohol's
cause
legal.
a death.
Alcohol has a lot
So
of problems. I mean, if you look at domestic disputes, violence, fights, drunkenness, DUIs, yeah, that's a huge
look at
multi-billion
this
dollar
nigga. He
industry.
trying to be cool
Why
on
should
camera.
we
The
be
black
any
dude trying
Why
to
add to?
keep his aura
Why
and
add to the
shit.
problem that-
Man, got the
that
Gucci
alcohol
glasses
causes?
on.
Because
He
prohibition
looking
doesn't
sweet. He
work.
was
The war on
prepared for the
drugs is not
camera.
solved since the
Look,
70s.
suit
The
looking
issues of
sweet,
drugs in our
nice,
community.
neat.
So
My
let me
man
ask you this
representing.
question. Because
I see
we
you,
should
black man.
legalize marijuana because people like to smoke it. We should legalize cocaine, methamphetamine. We should legalize fentanyl. We should legalize all those things. No, of course not. Just because people like it. there's
That's
certain
Kevin
things that
Samuels'
you
brother
just
like shit. He look like
shouldn't
Kevin
do, and
Samuels. He
I
think
think
he
the government
slick.
should uphold a
Trying to
standard.
be in disguise, nigga.
So
We know
what
that's you,
gave you
nigga.
reason to believe that this could be a narcotic
Trying to
overdose
change his
in the
life
first place?
around and shit.
So,
Yeah. Nah, rest in peace
based
to
off
brother.
the
All
evidence
jokes
that is
aside.
located at the
I don't like
scene
playing with the
of a
death.
death.
I don't mean the dead.
So for this particular incident, there is narcotics paraphernalia and additional narcotics on scene.
She talking about
We
saying they
cannot
deserve the
on
death
scene
penalty.
determine the cause of death. That would
Nah, I
be
agree
for
though,
the
a little bit, to a
medical
certain
examiner's
extent.
office investigation. Because of the evidence that is located on the scene, we want to get a start jumpstarting our investigation. So the van actually pulled up super close, and we're keeping family further out, so it should be okay.
I don't know how you guys do this day in and day out. I suppose just like anything.
They taking a whole body out. I don't know how they do that shit either.
To it.
You gotta be, man. I got a sick stomach, bro. I can't do this shit.
It affects the family more than anything.
All you gotta do is
Oh, you've never used samples like this before.
No, we didn't, and we don't want to. Sorry, I ain't mean to be so rude, but come on, cuz you fucking up the flow.
I think this just goes to show how one death can affect so many people. It's such a ripple effect.
Stars in my ceiling.
As you hear the family in the background, I think this goes to highlight. I would not
stars
have
in my
for this
ceiling.
type of job, and there's the fact that people like you are boots on the ground and see some of this look death in the face almost on a daily basis sometimes, and have to deal with families and all the thing that come with it. I mean,
right. I will say that making that next of kin notification is the worst part about our job, because we're having to tell a loved one that their loved one is no longer here.
what I've seen in my own family, and there's not one person with the reach drugs has. You could be in a mansion or you could be in the poorest of the poor. There's not one family in America that probably doesn't have some impact of drugs hitting their family or alcoholism hitting their family.
Right.
Smooth as Bonnie go.
It's just such a heavy job. And then this is the other thing is I think like this gives me perspective too, because sometimes it's easy to look at a dealer and be like, oh, he grew up in a messed up neighborhood with a messed up childhood and he's just trying to make some money to put rent, to pay the rent. But then when it has the impact like this, that makes an entire family gather and cry, then you have a little bit more of a, well, when they get raided, you know why.
The drug dealers know. They know that they are selling this deadly drug. They know what they are selling, so that is why they should be held accountable for what they are selling.
And every single person has that voice inside their heart that knows when something is right or wrong. And to override that just so you can pay rent, even though you can cause devastation to an entire family. And one dealer might have, do you encounter
multiple
dealers?
Customers.
Do you ever encounter dealers that you guys arrest that are tied to multiple deaths?
Yes.
Yeah, this really helped me change my perspective on drug dealing. I mean, there's so much that comes with this. There's family members that have to pay for the funeral. There's how many people had to call off work to leave here and come. There's people that their lives can be permanently altered by the grief. I mean, I've seen that in my own family very well. Just in today's episode, the fact that a dad is selling crack cocaine next to his baby, and then we land at this scene over here when he's passed away and the family's crying, like, you gotta raise your standards a little bit. It makes me thankful, for the detectives that have to collect bodies and investigate, and then the people that have to risk their life to go undercover to do the work to catch these guys. That's more of a risk than most of us are willing to take. It's an honest job, it pays the bills, and these are people that go to bat for us in our community. So, a really interesting perspective of how Jacksonville is fighting the flow of drugs through the city. That was a deep dive into the world of Jacksonville crime fighting on the drug division, their narcotics division. Thank you for joining. The support's amazing. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next week. Thank you. Folks, you just saw a glimpse of what Jacksonville law enforcement does. And next week, we'll dive even deeper, doing a night patrol episode that involves a kidnapping call, going out on a mission with a K9 unit, catching a live burglar in action,
we're gonna go.
and
We're gonna
much
watch
more.
that
We
one.
will
When that
also
thing
take a
drop,
deeper
going
look
on
at
a
the
mission
secret
with a
sauce that has
K9
driven
unit.
Jacksonville to be a
Yeah, we
place
gonna
where the
go on that
homicide
one.
rate has dropped in half. Something that is
We
nearly
gonna check
unheard.
that. That shit just got real. Kill.